जय
तुलसी महारानी की जय,
जय
भक्ति देवी की जय,
जय
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय,
जय
श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय,
जय
श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय,
जय
आविर्भाव तिथि ऑफ श्रीमती सीता ठाकुरानी की जय,
जय
समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय,
जय।
निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे,
हरि
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 हरि बोल।
बोल।
All glories to assembled
हरे
devotees.
कृष्ण
All glories to assembled
हरे
devotees.
कृष्ण
All glories to assembled
हरे
devotees.
कृष्ण
All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga.
हरे
All
हरि बोल।
glories to Srila Prabhupada.
हरे
Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। श्रीमद्भागवतम कैंटो 3 chapter 13, the appearance of Lord Varaha. Text 31. स्वदंष्ट्रयोद्धृत्य महीं निमग्नाम् स उत्थितः संरुरुचेरसायाः तत्रापि दैत्यं गदया पतन्तम् सुनाभसन्दीपिततीव्रमन्युः स्वदंष्ट्रयोद्धृत्य महीं निमग्नाम् स उत्थितः संरुरुचेरसायाः तत्रापि दैत्यं गदया पतन्तम् सुनाभसन्दीपिततीव्रमन्युः स्वदंष्ट्रयोद्धृत्य महीं निमग्नाम् स उत्थितः संरुरुचेरसायाः तत्रापि दैत्यं गदया पतन्तम् सुनाभसन्दीपिततीव्रमन्युः. Please chant.
स्वदंष्ट्रयोद्धात्र्य महिं निमग्नं स उत्थितः संरुरुषु रसायः तत्रापि दैत्यं गदया पतन्तं सुनाभ सन्दीप्त तीव्र समृद्ध तीव्र मन्यु.
हरे कृष्ण। स्वदंष्ट्रयोद्धृत्य महीमनिमग्नां सायुधितः संरुरुचेरसायः तत्रापि दैत्यं गदया पतन्तं सुनाभसन्दीपिततीव्रमन्युः. हरे कृष्ण।
Anyone else? I'll do the word-to-word translation. Swadamstraya, by his own tusks. Udhritya, raising. Mahim, the earth. Nimagnam, submerged. Saha, he. Uttitaha, getting up. Samruruche, appeared very splendid. Rasayaha, from the water. Tatra, there. Api, also. Daityam, unto the demon. Gadaya, with the club. Apatantam, rushing towards him. Sunabha, the wheel of Krishna. Sandipita, glowing. Tivra, fierce. Manyuhu, anger. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charnaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Boar very easily took the earth on his tusks and got it out of the water. Thus he appeared very splendid. Then, his anger glowing like the Sudarshana wheel, he immediately killed the demon Hiranyaksha, although he tried to fight with the Lord. So please hear attentively. Again, Lord Boar very easily took the earth on his tusks and got it out of the water. Thus he appeared very splendid. Then, his anger glowing like the Sudarshan wheel, he immediately killed the demon Hiranyaksha, although he tried to fight with the Lord. Purport. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the Vedic literatures describe the incarnation of Lord Varaha, Boar, in two different devastations, namely the Chakshusha devastation and the Swayambhuva devastation. Chakshusha devastation, Swayambhuva devastation. This particular appearance of Boar incarnation, which one? This particular appearance of the Boar incarnation actually took place in the Swayambhuva devastation, when all planets other than the higher ones, Jana, this is a mistake, it should be Tapo, Jana, Tapo and Satyalokas, merged in the water of devastation. This particular incarnation of the Boar was seen by the inhabitants of the planets mentioned above. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti suggests that the sage Maitreya amalgamated both the Boar incarnations in different devastations and summarized them in his description to Vidura. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostite Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, I welcome you all to the Srimad Bhagavatam class at ISKCON Philadelphia. Today is August 28, 2025. We are reading from the third canto's 13th chapter, The Appearance of Lord Varaha. And today's verse is text 31. Also today is the appearance day of Sita Thakurani, the consort of Sri Advaita Acharya from Panchatattva. So if we get time, maybe we can talk a little bit about Srimati Sita Thakurani after this discussion. So this, the verse is saying, what is the verse saying today? That Lord Boar very easily took the earth on his tusks and got it out of the water. And then angrily, he killed the demon Hiranyaksha. In order to understand the context, we have to go back a few verses or what's happening in this chapter. Those of you who have been following the classes every day, can you tell me quickly what is the, what happened so far? Just in a couple of lines, you can tell me.
Boar went up and so high, and then he came back to the water.
Why did the boar come, Mataji, in the first place? What happened before that? Okay.
Hare Krishna Mate.
Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
I think Sambhu, Manu, and
So, yeah.
his wife Satrupa, they wanted place to create. There was no place, and because the earth was drowned by Hiranyaksha, so that's why the Lord came to bring the earth on the surface.
Very nice. Yes, Mataji. So, but before that, I will give you a little bit more background before that. You see, we'll start with, I think best will be if I shared the blackboard with you. It's visual and I think that's better. But it all started with Parikshit Maharaj's questions in the second canto, 8th chapter. Parikshit Maharaj asked so many questions. So then some questions were answered in the 9th and 10th chapters of the second canto. Then towards the end, Sukadev Goswami said, I'm going to tell you Padma Kalpa stories. In order to answer your questions, I'm going to tell you Padma Kalpa stories. I'll just tell you in a bit what is Padma Kalpa and all that. Then the third canto begins. Yes? So, because we discussed this in the past also several times, but in the third canto, the main thing is these Padma Kalpa stories or histories have to be narrated. Padma Kalpa stories, what is a kalpa? One day of Brahma is called one kalpa. So each day has one name. So Padma Kalpa is the name of one particular day of Brahmaji. So the stories or the history, incidents that happened on that particular day are going to be described by Sukadev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj in order to answer Parikshit Maharaj's questions. Okay. So talks between Maitreya Muni and Vidura. That means Vidura is going to ask questions and Maitreya Muni is going to give answers. So in this conversation, Maitreya Muni is going to describe these Padmakalpa stories. So what Sukadev Goswami did was, in order to answer Parikshit Maharaj's questions, he is simply narrating the conversation between Maitreya Muni and Vidura. So whatever talks they talk, whatever is being described by Maitreya Muni, those incidents are from Padmakalpa. That is the context. So where do we find this discussion? It begins with 8th chapter of the 3rd canto and goes up to 12th chapter. So how does it start? The 8th chapter. Now we are in the 13th chapter. So in the 8th chapter, we saw appearance of Brahma. Then in the 9th chapter, we see after Brahmaji appears and he gets darshan of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. So he appears, then he performs tapasya, then he gets darshan of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu within his heart, and seeing the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, now he offers prayers by Brahmaji. Then in the 10th chapter, we see creation by Brahmaji. So we just see the primary and secondary creation. So we'll see what type of creations he's going to do. Okay, Brahmaji. We'll see that in the 10th chapter. Then that means this gives a general, so it says how there are 10 types of creations, right? Of which the first 6 are Prakritika, next 4 are Vaikritika, like that. All that comes in the 10th chapter. And in the 11th chapter, it's called description of time. Why time is described? Because whatever creation Brahmaji does, all that is within the limit of time. Even Brahmaji's life itself is also timed. He lives for 100 years. Then the 12th chapter, we will see how Brahmaji created the Kumaras, asked them to procreate, they refused. Then he created Rudra, and he created population that was destroying everything. So Brahmaji stopped Rudra from further procreation. Then he also created the Prajapatis, right? The 10 Prajapatis. And after that, we see how Brahmaji created means he manifested the Vedas and all that. Finally, we see he created Manu and Shatarupa. So Brahmaji, this creation by Brahmaji beginning with Kumaras, this is directly from Brahma. They appeared from Brahma. From Manu and Shatarupa, creation actually begins with sex life between male and female. From here, now it starts proceeding rapidly. Because even after the previous creation, Brahmaji was not so satisfied with the progress. The universe was not getting filled up. So this is how the 12th chapter ended. Now, we are hearing, so now I have to tell you what is Padmakalpa, because this 8 to 12 chapters, chapter 8 to chapter 12, whatever has been described, the context here is Padmakalpa. Padmakalpa. So now let me tell you what are kalpas and what is Padmakalpa very quickly. Brahmaji he lives for 100 years. His 100 years. and his 1 year has 12 months, and 1 month has 30 days. Each day is called Kalpa. Okay? Each day of Brahma is called Kalpa. Unlike in our case, we have each day of the week has one name. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like that. But for Brahmaji, 30 days have 30 names. So his day 1, first day, is called Shweta Kalpa. It's also called Varaha Kalpa. Sometimes it's also called Shweta Varaha Kalpa. This is his day 1. Every month, the first day of the month is called Shweta Varaha Kalpa or Varaha Kalpa or Shweta Kalpa. Why is it called Shweta Kalpa or Shweta Varaha Kalpa? Because Shweta Varaha appears in that, on that day. Shweta Varaha appears on that day. That's why this day is called Shweta Varaha Kalpa. Then in this way he will have 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. There are names. All these names are given. If you see in the second canto, 10th chapter, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives the names of, I think even Srila Prabhupada in the purport gives the names of all these, the different days of Brahmaji. So he has 30 days. I'm not going to give you all the names, but the 30th day is called Pitrakalpa. This is for our context. Whatever is the context here, that much only I'm going to explain. So day 1 is called Shweta Varaha Kalpa. Day 30 is called Pitrakalpa. So every month it will rotate like this. First day will be Shweta Kalpa, 30th day will be Pitrakalpa. One thing to be noted is the very first day of Brahmaji's life. So is called Brahma Kalpa. So that Shweta Kalpa is also called Brahma Kalpa, because Brahmaji appears on that day. Brahma Kalpa means first day of Brahmaji's life is called Brahma Kalpa. Also, currently, this Vartamana Kalpa means the present Kalpa. You know which Kalpa this is? Which day of Brahma is it today? Anyone remembers? The present day is which day?
First day of 51 years.
Very good. 51st year's first day. That means Brahmaji's 50 years have passed. And now is the first day of 51st year. Okay? This is the present day in which we are in. Okay. So the last day of his 50th year, that means his 50th year's last month, let's say December, what we call it December. He must have other names. But the last month of his 50th year, and in that 30 days are there. So the last day of the 50th year is also called, normally the 30th day is called Pitrakalpa, but this is a special one. 50th year, like his half century is over, right? So the last day of his half century, that is called Padma Kalpa. This is a special day. Padma Kalpa is a special day. Brahma Kalpa is also a special day. Why Brahma Kalpa is special? That's the very first day of his life. Padma Kalpa is the last day of his 50th year. Some commentators, some authors, acharyas, call even the first day of the 51st year as Padma Kalpa. So our present day is also called Padmakalpa. So the last day of the 50th year and the first day of the 51st year is called Padmakalpa. So this whole discussion of chapters 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 that we have been reading in the past several weeks is happening when? On this day, today, which is the first day of the 51st year. Brahmaji's appearance, Brahmaji's offering prayers to Lord Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Brahmaji's creation, this, and then so this whole thing, this description is happening of Padmakalpa. But then in the 12th chapter, we hear about the appearance of Kumaras. There's a problem there. You know why? Kumaras and the other personalities, sages that Brahmaji created by Brahmaji at the beginning, they actually live for Brahmaji's 100 years. That means they are born after Brahmaji and they will stay for as long as Brahmaji lives. Okay? They are not created in every day of Brahma. What happens in every day of Brahma, do you know? Each day, daily activity of Brahmaji. Daily there is pralaya, also called devastation. Daily devastation is happening. This is partial. Why is it partial? From bottom up to Svarga. Everything is inundated in Garbhodaka ocean. Inundated in Garbhodaka Jal. That means all the people, all types of, all forms of life up to Swarga, demigods, human beings, animals, birds, Rakshasas, everybody up to Swarga, all of them die. That means they leave their bodies. Everything is destroyed. What happens to the spirit souls? Spirit soul, along with the subtle body, all these spirit souls go to the lotus. This is the end of Brahmaji's one day. At the end of his one day, every day this happens. When he goes to bed at night, Brahmaji will sleep, and for him to sleep, all activity up to Swarga, all people, everybody is, there's pralaya, there is devastation. So everyone dies, everybody gives up his gross body, and the spirit souls go to the lotus, and there Brahmaji is sleeping, and all these living entities are also there resting with Brahmaji. Of course, the higher planets, that's why it is said, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka. Satyaloka is where Brahmaji is residing. So these are the more advanced personalities. They continue to live and they continue with their tapasya. They are not sleeping. They continue with their tapasya. This happens every day. Up to Swarga, all living entities give up their bodies, and the living entity with the subtle body goes to the lotus, and Brahmaji sleeps. How long is Brahmaji's one kalpa? That is 1,000 cycles of Chaturyugas. Satyayuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar, Kali. This is one Chaturyuga. How long is one Kali Yuga? 432,000 earth years. That is one Kali Yuga. 432,000. 4,32,000 years. That is the duration of one Kali Yuga. Times 10. So that is 4,320,000. That is the duration of one Chatur Yuga. 4 million years is one Chatur Yuga. Multiplied by 1,000. This is one day of Brahma. So for one day, during one day, there's activity going on throughout the day. The yugas are continuing. One more thing I have to tell you here. So how this one day is further divided. So this happens, this devastation is happening every day. So Brahmaji's one day, also called one kalpa, lasts for 1,000 times 4 yugas taken together, which is, I told you, 4 yugas taken together is 4,320,000 years, earth years. Okay, earth years. This is one day. Brahmaji's one day. You know how this one day is divided? One day of Brahma is divided into 14 manvantaras. 14 manvantaras. What is manvantara? So first one, okay, I'll just say. The problem is time. We don't have enough time. First manvantara is called Swayambhuva manvantara. Okay? And then you have second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. We are in which one now? Seventh one. We are in the 7th manvantara. Current, present manvantara is 7th. That is called Vaivasvata. Vaivasvata manvantara. What is the previous manvantara called? The 6th one? Anyone knows? The manvantara before this, what was it called? The 6th one? No? Chakshusha. Chakshusha manvantara. Okay. So, one day is divided into 14 manvantaras. One day means how long? 1,000 times 4,320,000, that many. So each manvantara comes to about, so there are 1,000 cycles, right? 1,000 cycles of Chaturyugas. So each manvantara will have approximately 71 Chaturyugas. If you divide 1,000 by 14, you'll get approximately 71. So there are 71 Chaturyugas in each manvantara. That is the duration of each manvantara. Like this, there are 14 manvantaras in one day of Brahmaji. At the end of 14 manvantaras, he will, there is a partial annihilation. Up to Swarga, everything is inundated. He goes to sleep. And there is another 1,000 Chaturyuga duration of time when he sleeps. And he'll wake up in the morning and he will start creating. And that is his next day. Next day means, again, the day will begin with what? First, there will be Swayambhuva Manvantara. Then all the other Manvantaras will, one after another, they will come. Now, coming to our context.
Brahma is busy always.
Yes, super busy. So, now, and then Brahmaji like this again, each day has so many Manvantaras, and then like this, he has 30 days in 1 month and 12 months and 1 year, and he lives for 100 years, and this is going on. And each day has a name. The first day of his month is called, you remember what is the first day of his month called? I told you at the beginning of the class. First day of his month is of his 1 month. There are 30 days.
Shvetavahara.
Shvetavaraha Kalpa.
Yes, thank you. Shvetavaraha. Shvetavaraha is the first day. So now we are hearing about the present Manvantara, and also actually we are hearing about the present Kalpa. What is the present Kalpa?
Shvetavaraha.
No,
Padkalpa.
Padma Kalpa.
Padma.
Yes. So whatever here Maitreya Muni is describing is from Padma Kalpa. Padma Kalpa is, you can take either as the last day of the 50th year or the first day of the 51st year. I told you several times in the past classes also why this 50th year is so special, because every day only up to Swarga everything is inundated, but in the 50th year the entire lotus goes back into the belly of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, and once again by his glance, he's glancing, all the living entities are in his belly and he's glancing on them. By that glance, once again the lotus comes out, and then like the
Again,
first day,
Brahma will come.
again Brahmaji comes, but Brahmaji forgets who he is and all that. So that's what we saw in these chapters 8, 9, 10, 11. But interestingly, while he is discussing the stories of Padma Kalpa, Brahmaji appeared, Brahmaji offered prayers, Brahmaji create, and then he starts creation also. Then we are hearing that Kumaras, he created Kumaras. When are Kumaras created? Can you tell me? When does Brahmaji create Kumaras?
Kumaras came before.
Because I told you Kumaras live for as long as Brahmaji.
Oh, yeah.
Now Brahmaji is 50 years old. So they should also be like that. But here we are seeing Brahmaji is creating Kumaras. How come? How is this being said here? That means this is the crux of the verse we are discussing today. This pastime of the appearance of Kumaras and then Rudra, and Rudra destroying everything, and and the Prajapatis appeared, and then finally Manu and Shatarupa appeared. This 12th chapter discussion does not belong to Padmakalpa. Maitreya Muni is discussing stories of Padmakalpa nicely. 8, 9, 10, 11 chapters. 11th chapter he is discussing the time. So there also he says, so this is Padmakalpa stories. And then he continues, he's coming to 12th chapter and he's talking about the appearance of Kumaras, Rudra, Prajapatis. That means he is jumping from Padmakalpa, he went back to Brahmakalpa.
Yeah.
But he didn't mention that now I'm going back to Brahmakalpa. No. This is called jumping. Bhedepi ekavat varnanam. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains. Bhedepi ekavat varnanam. That means Bheda means different.
Different.
These stories are from two different time periods, on two different days. But he's not giving that detail there.
Yeah.
He's continuing like one story. Ekavat varnanam. He's explaining as if it is the part of the same story. He just goes on explaining.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do it only once. He does it several times. We will see that. So this is one example. First example is here about the Kumaras. That means Padmakalpa stories are going on and he goes to Brahmakalpa and he's talking about Kumara's appearance in the middle of Padmakalpa stories. First example of Maitreya Muni's jumping. Second example we will see in the same chapter, 13th chapter, 13, 14, 15 verses. In the 13th verse, so Manu and Swayambhu Manu and Shatarupa had appeared. We saw that at the end of the previous chapter, 12th chapter. Then at the beginning of this current chapter, Vidura asks Brahmaji to please, I want to hear more about Swayambhu Manu because he's a pure devotee. So what did he do after he appeared? So then Maitreya Muni became very pleased with Vidura's question and he started describing. He said when Manu came, he bowed down, offered obeisances to his father Brahmaji, and he said, "My dear father, please, how may I serve you? Please instruct me according to my capacity, my working capacity. Please instruct me what I can do for you, and I will carry out your order." Brahmaji became very pleased and he said, "I want you to beget children in the womb of your good wife, produce children like yourself, and you rule. By doing this, and rule means, there we also saw, you have to engage all your subjects in offering. Like the purpose of whatever work they are doing is to do it as yagya, to be offered to the Supreme Lord for his satisfaction. If you rule like this, if you rule your subjects like this and guide them all to do yagya for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, that will be good for you. That means in the 13th shloka, we see Brahmaji orders Manu, now you go and you create. And then Manu is asking, "My dear father, where do you want me to go?" First, no, this is Brahmakalpa. So just now he appeared. So I want you to go and create. So he's saying, go and you create. So I want you to create, not also go. He says you create, you produce your children, and then you expand the population. So where should I go, my dear father? So when he asks, where should I go? We don't see after that, in the 15th chapter, we don't see Brahmaji said anything or Manu went somewhere and found out and came back and informed, nothing. Directly, he will say, the earth is underwater. How does he know that the earth is underwater and he's supposed to go to the earth? And second time, Maitreya Muni is jumping.
Okay.
That means this pastime, now he is describing Padmakalpa. In Padmakalpa, sorry, not Padmakalpa, 12th chapter is Brahmakalpa, appearance of Kumaras, Rudra, Manu. Brahmakalpa is happening the very first day. Description is going on. First, he is supposed to be describing Padmakalpa. From Padmakalpa, he jumped to Brahmakalpa. And in Brahmakalpa also, while describing Manu's appearance, now he jumps to some other kalpa. We don't know which one. Because every day, what happens is, every day there is devastation, partial devastation. What happens every day, up to Swarga, the water rises, Garbhodaka water rises. Sometimes the earth, it happens, like at the end of Kalpa, the earth slips from its position. Wherever the earth, earth is in the form of a disc. It is like a disc, like a javelin or something, like a disc. Okay, earth is like that. So this earth is being held by Anantasesh on his hood. And this earth slips down into water. This happens at the beginning of creation, Shweta Varaha, Shweta Kalpa at the beginning. So then this is every day it is happening. So then Manu has to start again. Brahmaji wakes up and he has to start his work, but they're already there. It's not like, see, higher planets, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka, people are already residing. It's not like they all also, have to be given their bodies. They are with their self-same bodies. They just have to wake up and start their work. So Manu, it's understandable. He's supposed to go back and do something and he says, oh, there's nothing, there's no earth. He comes back and he tells Brahmaji, there's no earth. But here, the very first day, he just came and he's supposed to create and he's saying the earth is not there. That means Maitreya Muni jumped to some other Kalpa story. Second time. Okay. Now today's class is one more time. Now Maitreya Muni is jumping. Here, what he is doing is, he jumped to some other Kalpa. Story he is continuing. He is telling about Maitreya Muni. I'm sorry, he is telling about Manu, Swayambhuva Manu. He looked and there is no earth. He came and he informed, He came and all that is not said. All it is said is, Manu said there is no earth.
Yes, no.
And then Brahmaji is like concerned now. Oh, there is no earth. What he started meditating on the Supreme Lord. Then all of a sudden, while he's meditating on the
Lord
Supreme
came.
Lord, all of a sudden a boar,
That's
small, the size of the tip of the thumb,
Yes.
comes out of the nostril of Brahmaji. And Brahmaji is amazed. And he's just looking. This is what we read earlier in this chapter. Maitreya Muni is describing like this. When Manu said there is no earth, Brahmaji started thinking, and then the boar, one wonderful boar, the size of the tip of the thumb, appeared from his nostril, came outside, and then he was just going around lashing his tail and all that. And he started roaring, hearing that from the higher planets, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka, the residents, they started chanting Vedic mantras. Why? Because Varahadev is Yagyamaya. So, Yagya and Vedas they're closely related. Okay.
Mhm.
Fire sacrifice and
we do
the
the
Vedas are closely related. So that is why
we always chant.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not
So they started chanting mantras, and hearing that mantras, the Lord also, his devotees are chanting his mantras for him. So he roared to them, like in his, to express his joy. Meanwhile, before that, Brahmaji is, discussing, debating with the other Prajapatis and even with Swayambhu Manu and Shatarupa maybe, that who is this personality? Is this the Supreme Lord? Like this, they're talking. And then when he shows this and they're chanting Vedic mantras, it is obvious this is the Supreme Lord. So now the Lord goes into the ocean, Garbhodaka ocean. He jumps into it with his hooves front like this. And then, the water rises like this on both sides. When he dives in, water just rises like this. So it appeared as if, the ocean is raising the arms and praying, my Lord, please don't divide me into two, like that. And then the Lord goes inside. He finds earth because earth slipped from its position. So he finds Bhumi Devi. He picks her up and brings her outside. And he looks so beautiful. He places there. So far it is okay. This whole description belongs to Shweta Varaha Kalpa. That is why I told you difference between Brahma Kalpa and Shweta Varaha Kalpa. Why? The very first Shweta Varaha Kalpa of Brahmaji is called Brahma Kalpa. But this incident is happening on some other Shweta Varaha Kalpa, not the very first day. Are you confused?
No.
No. First day Brahmaji created Manu and Kumaras.
Yeah.
So Manu would not know what's going on, but still Manu saying the earth is in the water means this is not the very first Shvetavaraha Kalpa. What is Shvetavaraha Kalpa? First day of the month of Brahmaji. So he'll have, this rotates. Every year there are 12 months. So there will be 12 Shvetavaraha Kalpas in his one year. I'm sorry. Okay, wait. Kalpa is a day. Okay. Shvetavaraha Kalpa is the first day of his month. So every month, the first day will be Shvetavaraha Kalpa. This particular incident of Manu belongs to some Shvetavaraha Kalpa. It is from Shvetavaraha Kalpa. Okay. First, he was discussing Padma Kalpa. From Padma Kalpa, he jumped to Brahma Kalpa, first day of Brahmaji. And there he is describing Kumaras appeared, Rudra appeared, Manu appeared. From there, now he is jumping to some other Shvetavaraha Kalpa, first day of some month. He is jumping there. And now Varahadev appeared. Because Varahadev appears in every Shvetavaraha Kalpa. That's my point. That the reason the first day of the month is called Varaha Kalpa is because Varahadev appears.
Because Varahadev is.
Okay. So he appears. So in that month, The first day you will see, because every day there is devastation. After devastation, sometimes you will see that the earth slips down from its position. At that time, Varahadev comes to lift the earth. That is why on that day, that day is called Shvetavaraha Kalpa. So this is Shvetavaraha Kalpa, where Shvetavaraha appears, white Varaha appears. So he appeared and he lifted the earth out. But Shvetavaraha does not fight with Hiranyaksha. I will show you. I was telling you about Manvantaras today. See, in one day also, now there are many Manvantaras, I told you. 14 Manvantaras are there. Every day, the first portion of the day is Swayambhuva Manvantara, where Swayambhuva Manu is the ruler. And when the Manvantara changes, government changes, another Manu will come. Demigods will change, Saptarishis will change. Then third day, again government will change. Fourth day, fifth day, and not day, these are Manvantaras. Within one day, there is Swayambhuva Manvantara like this. So, Shvetavaraha comes in Swayambhuva Manvantara. In the Shvetavaraha Kalpa also, Shvetavaraha comes in Swayambhuva Manvantara. In Swayambhuva Manvantara, Swayambhuva Manu is there. Yes? Swayambhuva Manu has how many children? You remember? 2 sons and 3 daughters. Who are they? Who are the 2 sons of Swayambhuva Manu?
Uttanpada and
Priyavrata.
Priyavrata, yeah.
Yes. And daughters are?
Prasuti and Akuti.
Akuti, Devahuti, Prasuti. Yes, these are the 3 daughters. So this is Swayambhuva Manu and his children. And then in Swayambhuva, so Swayambhuva Manvantara, you have Swayambhuva Manu, his sons and daughters. Prasuti is married to Daksha. Okay, Daksha is also one of the Prajapatis created by Brahmaji in the beginning. So Swayambhuva Manu's daughter, Prasuti, is married to Daksha, and Daksha's daughter Sati is married to Lord Shiva. Daksha offends Lord Shiva, because of which he gets a goat head, making the story short. And out of humiliation, he gives up that body. First he performs tapasya, and he gives up that body, and he gets another body. How? He becomes the son of the Prachetas, 10 Prachetas. And that is Daksha. The same Daksha takes birth again in a new body. That Daksha appears in Chakshusha Manvantara. This Daksha, first he gives birth to, Haryashvas. Narad Muni makes them devotees. He wanted them to procreate and increase population, but Narad Muni turns them into devotees. Then next he creates Savalashvas. They also become devotees by the mercy of Narad Muni. So at that time, Daksha curses Narad Muni. And this time he decides, I'm not going to have sons, I'll have only daughters. And he will produce 60 daughters, and he marries those daughters to different personalities. So his daughter Aditi, like the 17 daughters, he marries to Kashyapa Muni. Diti's husband Kashyapa Muni and Diti give birth to Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. Why I told you this whole story? This happens in Chakshusha Manvantara. Hiranyaksha is born in Chakshusha Manvantara, where from Varahadev is fighting with Hiranyaksha in Swayambhuva Manvantara. Now the story is of Swayambhuva Manvantara.
Going back.
Right? In Swayambhuva Manvantara, Manu came, and then, all this is being described. All of a sudden, Varahadev came and he went into the water. He brought, so Shvetavaraha's Leela is he will pick up the earth. That's all. Chakshusha Manvantara, Varahadev appears again. That is a different pastime. That Varahadev is called Neela Varaha, not Shweta Varaha. And his body complexion is Tamala Varnam. It is, you can say blackish, you can say dark blue. Srila Prabhupada says reddish, different colors are given. That is the whole point. Once again here, our Maitreya Muni jumps from Swayambhuva Manvantara, he jumps to which one? Chakshusha Manvantara.
Chakshusha.
But he doesn't say anything. In the same verse you're seeing, Varahadev went and brought the earth, and then he became angry and he went and fought with Hiranyaksha. So now the question, Hiranyaksha, where did Hiranyaksha come from? That means he mixed up. Bhedepi ekavat varnanam. Although these stories belong to two different time periods, he is explaining them as belonging to the same. So now, if anyone gets a question, why does he do that? You may get a question.
Yeah,
Why
okay.
is he even doing this? Mixing
Confusing
stories
us. To confuse us.
No, not like that. His intention is not to confuse us. What actually happens is, when he is describing these pastimes of one particular kalpa, see, now Radhashtami is coming. You will see in Radhashtami, Radharani's appearance, there are slight difference. In one pastime, you will hear Radharani appeared from the earth while they were plowing the field. And in other pastime, you will see Rishabhanu Maharaj found her in a lotus in the river or in the lake, water somewhere. He found her in the water in a lotus. So you cannot say this is correct and that is wrong. No, both are correct. But there are slight differences in the details of the pastime on different days, different kalpas.
Days, different kalpas, yeah.
Similarly, other, stories also, same story. You can take Nishingadev's pastimes also, you will see. The details will not be exactly the same on different days or different kalpas. Details will vary. So, when Maitreya Muni is describing the story of one particular kalpa, the stories from other kalpas are waiting in his consciousness. Everything is conscious, everything is personal there. So the stories from other kalpas are waiting to be spoken. In his consciousness, they're waiting. So sometimes he will just take out of his bhava, right? He goes into the emotion, devotional emotion, right? And then he will just, in glorifying the Lord, for example, glorifying Varahadev, the story from another kalpa, he will just jump from this kalpa to another kalpa in his bhava, and he'll just go and describe the whole thing as belonging to one. It happens like this. And what is the proof for whatever I have described? This is from Srila Rupa Goswami's Laghu Bhagavatamrita. There we see that there are two different varahas. There is Shweta Varaha and there is one Varaha coming in Chakshusha Manvantara. This is said by Srila Rupa Goswami in Laghu Bhagavatamrita. That is what Srila Prabhupada also says in the purport. So, this is about today's verse. And we have 5 minutes left. About Sita Thakurani. Sita Thakurani is the consort of Sri Advaita Acharya. We hear about Sita Thakurani in Sri Chaitanya Mangal. When we talk about the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, before Mahaprabhu appeared, his devotees appeared to set the stage for his appearance. The first person who took birth was Lord Shiva as Sri Advaita Acharya. He took birth in a Brahmana's family. His name was Kamalaksha, and he was very learned, and he was given the title Advaita Acharya. After this, the next personality, prominent personality, right, who took birth before Mahaprabhu was Lord Balaram. First Lord Shiva appeared, then Lord Balaram appeared. He took birth in a Brahmana's family. And the same Lord Balaram took birth in Padmavati's womb. His father was Hadayoja. And they named him Balaram, they named him Kuver Pandit. When he accepted sannyas, he accepted the name Nityananda. And the third personality that is mentioned is the goddess Katyayani, the consort of Lord Shiva. She took birth in a Brahmana's family and her name was Sita. She married Advaita Acharya and together they both manifested great love and devotion for Lord Krishna. So this description we see in Chaitanya Mangal by Srila Lochandas Thakur about the appearance of Srimati Sita Thakurani. And in Srila Vishwanath, in Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's Chaitanya Charitamrita, we will see the pastimes of Sita Thakurani in Lord Chaitanya's Leela. When Mahaprabhu appeared, soon after his appearance, you see, after childbirth, the baby stays with the mother. They're kept in seclusion. Depending on your particular varna, the time varies for how long she has to stay, like that. So let's say 1 month. So one day shortly after Lord Chaitanya, so this is from Adi Leela, chapter 13, text 111. If you want, I can just share the screen with you maybe. It's just running out of time. So this is after Mahaprabhu's appearance. So people are coming to give gifts. Srivas Thakur's wife, Chandrasekhar Acharya's, like that, they're coming. So one day, shortly after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born, Advaita Acharya's wife Sita Devi, who is worshipable by the whole world, took her husband's permission and went to see that topmost child with all kinds of gifts and presentations. So Advaita Acharya has a home in Navadvip and also in Shantipur. So she came from there, from Shantipur. She brought different kinds of golden ornaments, including armlets, necklaces, anklets, and bangles for the hands for the Lord, baby. There were also tiger nails set in gold, like a pendant. You have tiger nail pendant. You'll see in Mayapur Nishingadev, he has that always. So tiger nails set in gold, waist decorations of silk and lace, ornaments for the hands and legs, nicely printed silken saris, and a child's garment also made of silk. Just see the opulence. Many other riches, including gold and silver coins, were also presented to the child. Riding in a palanquin covered with cloth and accompanied by maidservants, Sita Thakurani came to the house of Jagannath Mishra, bringing with her many auspicious articles such as fresh grass, paddy, gorochana, turmeric, kumkum, and sandalwood. All these presentations filled a large basket. When Sita Thakurani came to the house of Sachi Devi, bringing with her many kinds of eatables, dresses, and other gifts, she was astonished to see the newborn child, for she appreciated that, except for a difference in color, the child was directly Krishna of Gokula himself. Seeing the transcendental bodily effulgence of the child, each of his nicely constructed limbs full of auspicious signs and resembling a form of gold, Sita Thakurani was very pleased, and because of her maternal affection, she felt as if her heart were melting. She blessed the newborn child by placing fresh grass and paddy on his head and saying, "May you be blessed with a long duration of life." But being afraid of ghosts and witches, she gave the child the name Nimai. On the day the mother and son bathed and left the maternity home, Sita Thakurani gave them all kinds of ornaments and garments, and then also honored Jagannath Mishra. Then Sita Thakurani, being honored by Mother Sachi and Jagannath Mishra, was greatly happy within her mind, and thus she returned home. So this is one place where we see description of Sita Thakurani. And in another place that I'm able to just recollect is when Mahaprabhu takes sannyas and he is in Jagannath Puri, before he goes to South India tour, on South India tour, so Mahaprabhu comes to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house. Actually, yeah, anyway, we'll leave it there. That's all for now. But we see that Advaitacharya and Sita Thakurani, they cook offerings for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on different occasions. She's always, together they're cooking wonderful offerings. And many pastimes are there of Mahaprabhu taking prasadam at Advaitacharya's home, and the cooking and glorifying the cooking of Advaitacharya and Sita Thakurani. So we offer our prostrated obeisances at the lotus feet of Srimati Sita Thakurani today and seek her blessings so that we may strive to develop pure devotional service to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I will stop there. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Yeah, it's past time, I understand. So I can stop here. Thank you all so much for joining today. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Sita Thakurani appearance day ki jai.
Jai.
Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki jai.
Jai.
Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa patitanam pavanebhyo.
Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Archana Bhakti Mataji. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mataji, you should change your name on the screen.
Ah,
Vani Seva
Yeah,
Mataji.
I try to, I have to know how to change it. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Yes.
Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
class.
Thank you very much for a lot of things we have to remember.
I know, Mataji. We'll have to hear again.